You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next is November 20th, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Welcome. Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the November 20th Michigan City Park Board. If you would please stand and repeat the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Will, would you please call the roll?
Yes, Mr. Freeze,
Here.
Mr. Glidden,
Here.
Ms. Sperling,
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
He'll be here. He's going to be a couple of minutes late.
Yep.
We go ahead with the first part of the agenda, minutes from the previous meeting. You have those in front of you and the correction on who were present is going to be, Will has that corrected. So if anybody has any other comments about the minutes, otherwise you look for a motion to accept the minutes.
We accept the minutes.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. We don't have any tabled business that I recall.
Nope.
New business. We have our third quarter report. I believe everybody received it. Are there any questions, comments about the report? I know there's a lot of information in here.
Go ahead, Sam.
No, okay, well,
You
page
go ahead.
2, the grant projects. So do we have the money to start now?
We do not. So we're still waiting to hear about the $1 million grant that we filed with the Lilly Foundation Gift 8. Hoping to hear about that by the end of December. And then we also put in a grant with Duneland Health Foundation. We have not heard back from them either, and we are actively fundraising with the community and corporations. So right now we're about 1.4 million shy of the $5 million to put it out to bid. But we're hoping to wrap that up by the first quarter of 2025 and hopefully be fully funded.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions, comments? Is this third quarter report online?
It is not.
Okay.
On page 4, we're parking, am I right? The profit from the parking this year was $1,156,000.
That was total gross sales.
Okay.
So the net for 2024, you see that? Yeah, there's a calculation error there. Oh, no, that is correct. I apologize. Is that what you're looking at?
Right, the net.
Yeah, I was looking at the top chart. That's your gross sales. Your net is 1.156.
Right. So I spoke to you yesterday about, I know that's great. We took in money for parking, but I think that raising the rate for parking, we hurt the zoo a little bit. So we maybe needed to come up with a rebate or something where somebody can get $5 off the zoo admission or something appropriate.
Yeah, so the zoo director, Jamie Huss, and I are working on some type of a validation system. So if a family comes in and pays the $20 to park, they would take a receipt or whatever method that we come up with to the zoo and they would get a discount at the gate. We're down about 4,100 people in attendance, and year-to-date third quarter, which isn't huge. You know, we're running around 100,000 visitors a year. But that is one thing that could have affected it, as well as quite a few zoos pulled out of our reciprocal agreements, where if you buy our zoo pass, you get to visit their zoo for free or at a discount. So I think that had an effect as well. Of course, the economy has an effect. It's not cheap to go to the zoo. And then also we have a lot of competition with Potawatomi Zoo, which is the closest zoo to us, and a lot of new exhibits that they have. I would say definitely the giraffe exhibit that opened last year is a draw over there that could be taken away from our visitors. So there's a lot of factors, but we'll definitely get back to the board once we hammer out whatever type of validation system and how that's going to work in the back end. Because they're two separate funds. How do we transfer that money around? But we're definitely discussing that now.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are we reciprocal with the Potawatomi Zoo in South Bend?
I don't believe so for 2025.
Yeah, okay, we were, but that's what I was.
Have been as long as I can remember.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Anyhow, it was well done, Shannon. Got a lot of good information gathered and spread out. Thank you for your effort, Will, for putting this together, and all the department heads.
I had a couple things.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't
I'm
know if
sorry.
it was done. No, that's okay. So just right off the bat on page 1, don't worry, I'm not going through all 40 pages. But the rentals, the shelter rentals, is there a reason why those were down so much this last year? Because usually those are pretty solid, right?
It's really hard to determine.
Mm-hmm.
I will say we are having an increase in major events in the park, and when we have major events, we do not rent shelters because we can't guarantee parking.
Mm-hmm.
So like the
That
boat
could be-
race now has an extended week. It's not just the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're coming in on Tuesdays. We had the jet skis added the last 2 years. What's that? 4th of July. 4th of July, when it falls midweek, we block out the weekend before and after because people tend to take a 4-day weekend on either side of the holiday.
Mm-hmm.
So anytime that we feel the lots are going to be closed and people are not going to be able to get into their event, we just don't rent.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The ceiling's leaking.
Oh, well, and on that note, I actually drove past Krieger today, and their pour sign looks like a little pour sign. And I was thinking, I mean, it's just such a beautiful facility, and it's, has the new parking lot. And I thought maybe that's something where we could, I know a lot of our parks have a similar sign, don't they? Don't they say Michigan City Parks and Recreation on?
Yeah, the Krieger Memorial Hall sign, you're talking the wood grave sign.
Yeah.
Actually, we were just looking at that in the trees 15 minutes before this meeting.
Oh,
The signs that we have at our other parks have the park name on them, they're modular, and then the rules underneath, but they're all in really bad shape or missing. So it's been on our capital list. 2024 was the 3rd year we asked for money to replace all of our signage,
okay.
and we haven't gotten it.
Okay.
But I agree, yeah,
Yeah.
we definitely do. We'll find money in the budget to get that one done, but when we're putting signage up, we absolutely need to start adding our hours, our rules, or the police can't enforce people breaking the rules on the property because it's surplus.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and I think if people are driving past it and see that it's a city, it's one of ours, and then also, you just kind of see with some businesses, like they'll have their name and then they'll have like, underneath it, just a little bit about it. So like, weddings, rentals, weekend rentals, whatever, just something to tell a little bit about like what we offer. And then a contact, either email or phone number also on there. So people can drive past and say, oh, we could rent that. That looks beautiful. We could rent that, because people might drive past it and wonder, is it privately owned? Is it, so just a thought, just to increase the rental.
all good points.
It's such a great facility.
And I think it's starting to get used more, because Pat's opened up the trail system behind it. So you did a hike.
Yeah.
Did you do one of our hikes there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's getting a lot more like walk-in neighborhood use on the property, not just on the
Mhm.
house, so.
And that would be another cool thing to put on a sign, like, trails, hiking, free hiking, or, yeah.
So Pat's
Mhm.
mapped out the trails, the routes and the
Mhm.
lengths, so we're looking at putting in, kind of like the county parks or state parks do.
Mhm.
Loop 1, loop 2.
Yeah,
the
cool.
arrows.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, cool. Let's see here. Oh, and with the right down to the golf. I mean, of course, the revenues are looking great again. And I was wondering, like, with the golf carts, when did we get the golf carts? The additional golf carts?
I'm sorry, Dave.
When did we get the additional golf carts this year?
8 weeks ago? Yeah, September.
Okay, so that was at the tail end of the third quarter.
Yes.
Because the golf cart rentals were up quite a bit, so it's going to be even more next year.
So some corrections, I'll remind the board that we were having trouble with, the system was recording golf cart use for members that have a pass. That it's
Mm,
still unclear to me. I extracted all the data out of the system.
mhm.
I don't like the way that it's set up at all, so
Mhm.
our intent is to recategorize, rebuild that database. We're already working on it
Right.
in-house now for 2025.
Mhm.
But at some point with Golf Now, we figured out a way to ring in that member for green fees and then additionally have to go in and ring the cart up separately. So that's why carts are probably going up. But the data for 2024, in my opinion, is not good data. And it's my intention to wipe the system and start over in 2025
Right.
with data that we can trust
Mhm.
and that reports in the way that we need to see it.
Mhm.
So again, that's a little bit unclear, but my guess is the majority of the cart increases are going to be going towards fixing that error with Golf Now that we found in the second.
Okay. So like the revenue amount, I could see the actual number
that's
of
right.
rentals being accounted for, but is the dollar amount the actual dollar amount, or does that take into consideration the annual membership?
So no, I guess that's a good point. If it's rung up with a membership, the cart rental would be calculated as a cart rental use, but at $0.
Okay.
So yeah, that was.
So we can go by the dollars then and know that like how there is an increase there. Okay. Because I mean, it's 20% and
Yeah.
well,
we added
11%.
22
What's that?
We added 22 carts.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
More
So
opportunity for rentals.
yeah, so it's a nice increase there. And then on the merchandise, made a great profit there. That was a good call. Thanks for your work on that. I'm sure that was a lot of extra work to, bring that in. Maybe it was less work. It was a lot of work before, but and then on the with the irrigation with the golf course, that I noticed that like the usage was like double. Was there a reason why?
Thank you, Michael, because I was just gonna guess that it rained more. It rained more.
Michael Moore, golf course superintendent.
Hello, Micah.
So we had a really dry spell,
Mhm.
probably what was it, August? And that, I really got.
That did it, huh?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's practically double,
Yeah,
right?
'cause last year we had so much rain and it was spread out perfectly,
Mhm.
or we didn't need to
Yeah.
use it as much.
Yeah, okay. That's all. I just want to make sure we weren't like, because there was a note in there about something was broke and so I didn't know if that was, I mean, we don't have like a problem, right? Like there's not
We
like,
do on the south course, but not on the north course.
but I mean, is that why there was more water usage because of the
It's
problem?
less,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, but there's no like underground like leaks or anything like that? Yeah, Okay.
I have a pump that's down.
yeah, got it. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
And then just one more thing, the zoo, the expenses were up quite a bit. I mean, no revenue was down, but just in general, the expenses were up quite a bit and on her profit and loss. They were up like 20%. So did we add people this last year? I know we did the year before. Oh, hi, Jamie. I think the year before that, it was all the increases. Everyone got increases. And then last year, I know we added people, right?
Yeah, this was like kind of a mixed bag of stuff. We had some
Okay.
increases because of food cost,
Mm-hmm.
cost of living.
Yes.
You go to the store, things go up. So that was a big cost.
Yeah.
We had less money from the exact grant to help fund some of that food
Mhm.
cost. So we had to cover it out of our budget here. And then just typical repairs and stuff that we had to do, which I'm gonna talk about later on. We got accredited this year, so we did a few more upgrades and stuff that we didn't do the year before.
Okay.
And then we also had issues with furnaces going out and then AC, and this quarter's AC
Yeah.
units going out, especially with a heat, with the air exchange unit
Mhm.
in the fair exhibit. It
Yeah.
had to be changed. So that was a big cost that we didn't have prior years.
Yeah. And I know the food, I think we had to transfer funds a few times, right?
Yeah.
For food. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's something you can't really predict. Half our food is donated by Al's
Mhm.
and Save a Lot of their
Wow.
day-old produce. So if they don't have it to give,
Mm-hmm.
we have to buy it because the animals still have their diets based on those feed amounts.
Sure.
And then shipping went up. We try to do items in bulk. We get one big rodent order, one big meat order
Mhm.
to save that cost, one big fish order. But all that cost has gone up with the fuel cost
Yeah.
and staffing costs.
Mhm.
So
Cool. Thanks, Jamie.
And just for the board's knowledge, if you look at the back of this report, there's a third quarter variance, which is comparing 2023 to 2024 third quarter numbers. And it will explain line item by line item, what the increases are for. So, oh, I'm sorry, page 28.
Oh, okay.
Zoo. So just for instance, zoo food, 2023 was 21,000 and change. This year it was 43,000. So just for food alone, it was almost a $22,000 increase. But that'll give you the details.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other comments, questions?
I had one here, sir, just trying to get back to the page. Sorry. But I promise I'll keep it short.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, it was for the annual sticker operation, it was the next page. We're talking about the printing paper expenses, and it was just a question. When it comes to the stickers, I know we have the stickers that we've been using for the vehicles. Was there any thought as far as like something maybe like a barcode, something that sits in the car, and you don't have to constantly come for another sticker? That barcode is there being read. It's read within the system, like say a computer system that says if the person had, instead of somebody constantly having to come for a new sticker.
They only get a sticker once a year.
Yeah, no, and that's what I mean annually instead of the annual visit. They'll still have to come and purchase the ticket, but instead of having to have the sticker, one of the things I'd heard somebody say is, "Hey, sir, I never had my sticker on the windshield. I had it in the car." And they said, "Hey, can you put it on the windshield?" And I wasn't thinking. So yeah, I put it on the windshield. And then they said, well, because somebody can move it from one vehicle to another.
Correct.
But if I have the barcode on the vehicle, it's just a thought. I don't know if that was something that we can, because we're looking at.
And
So if we give you a barcode and you move to LaPorte next year or in 6 months, then that barcode's good forever when you should be purchased.
But then you're still coming, you still have to come and pay. You still have to come and pay. And so you're still coming to produce your identification.
and you only can get the new sticker if you pay for your license plate. You gotta bring in your new register.
So none of that would change. None of that would change. I'm just saying as far as the cost for a sticker. Well, the cost for an annual sticker. How much are we paying annually for a sticker? To
Purchase.
produce. Yes, ma'am. Us to purchase and produce. I'm just trying to think. Yeah. Sorry, I might have not been clear with that.
It's like $3,000.
Yeah.
3,300.
So yeah, exactly, yeah, the barcode would just renew itself, but it would be up to the office to make sure we put it in the system. Then when they read it at the checkpoint, it reads say, no, you're not valid. Sorry,
So you're just saying it would be cheaper to produce the barcode than it would, although now you
the
have,
upfront cost,
you have to have a barcode reading system.
a barcode reading system, yeah, but there's barcode reading systems all through. Go ahead, Mr.
We
Bob.
use them actually for registrations to issue.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Just a thought as far as I know it's not a heavy cost, but if it's any place where we can save, Will would love it.
We're both working on moving towards automating parking. We're working on it. It's a slow process. We just gotta make sure that all the I's are dotted and T's are dotted as well. So
Dot those T's, yeah.
hopefully 2026, it's a real thing.
Okay. Perfect. Wonderful. That's all I had at the end.
Yeah.
Any other comments? Any comments from the public? Not, do we have a motion then to accept the 2024 second quarter report?
I move that we accept the 2024 third quarter report.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have a couple forms coming up here, United Foundation Federale Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Endowment Fund. That's the
Yeah,
first thing we
so-
have here.
The next two Unity Foundation agreements are related to the $250,000 grant we got from Health Foundation of LaPorte to set up a maintenance fund for our upcoming Fetters Alley playground. We did apply for a $750,000 grant from them for construction. They awarded us $500 for construction and $250 for maintenance. They cannot give it to the park department because we are not 501c3 and we do not have a foundation set up, although we are working on that. So at this point, this is the vehicle that we would use to transfer the money into. There'll be an endowment fund that's invested, and then money gets transferred into the maintenance holding fund. That's money we can use to replace the rubberized surfacing, do repairs to the equipment, add things. I did ask them to write in here that all expenses paid out of this fund would need unanimous approval of the park board. So you have control of spending this well into the future. I really would love to thank Healthcare Foundation again, because in all my years working here and writing grants, I've never had anyone give us money for maintenance. So it's easy to build things. It's not easy to maintain them in the future. So this was a true gift to us, to keep this playground active for, I think the last one's 60 years old. It's in Fetters, 70 years. And so that's what the two funds are about.
Questions?
Oh, and I should mention that healthcare needs to expend this money by December. So it was very important that we set this up quickly. Thank you, Laura, for your review. So we didn't have a lot of time to figure out where to put the money, so.
I assume you meant this December?
Correct.
Any comments, questions? Any comments or questions from the public? I'd like to thank Shannon and Laura for going through and clarifying exactly what this means. If there aren't any questions, we have a motion to accept the Unity Foundation Federale's Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Endowment Fund.
I'll make a motion to accept the Unity Foundation Fetters Alley Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Endowment Fund.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That isn't redundancy, but it sounds like it. A Unit Foundation Federale Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Holding Fund. Any other comments, Shannon, on this?
No.
Was that a no?
That was a no.
Yeah, she said no.
Anybody have comments or questions about this? Public have any questions or comments? Well, do we have a motion then to accept the Unity Foundation Fetters Alley Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Holding Fund?
I will make a motion to accept the Fetters Alley Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Holding Fund.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have Healthcare Foundation LaPorte Fetters Alley Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Reserve Fund Agreement.
Yes, and this is also related to Fetters Alley. This agreement is between the Park Board and Health Foundation of LaPorte, outlining the restricted uses of the $250,000. I think it's important to note that I asked them to put a clause in here. If the playground would cease to exist for any reason, that money would stay in this fund and can be used for any infrastructure, maintenance, or repairs in Washington Park. So the money does not go back to the foundation. That's important to note. I would definitely recommend approval.
Questions, comments? Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah, good idea.
Very good idea. Public have any comments? But do we have a motion then to accept the Healthcare Foundation LaPorte Fetters Alley Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Reserve Fund Agreement?
I will make a motion to accept the Healthcare Foundation of LaPorte Fetters Alley Playground and Fitness Park Maintenance Reserve Fund Agreement.
A second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have a designated authority for the HUD grant. Do you want to address that, Shannon, or you want me to?
Yes. So if the board recalls, we are awarded community project funding through Congressman Frank Mervan in the amount of $1 million for the Fetters Alley Playground. I'm working on the environmental assessment right now, which is the first part of applying for the grant to get the grant agreement. It's a very in-depth, time-consuming process. And in order for me to be able to get into their system and be a certified officer, I would need the park board to designate their authority to me to file the environmental documents online. Once I've completed the submission, it'll go to Sherry Neal, who's our HUD specialist in the city, for final review. And then it goes to the state and then to the federal government. So your only other choice is Phil Freeze would have to do it if you don't designate me as a certified officer.
I move with.
Right, second.
Questions? Yeah, it's self-explanatory. I just wanted to know if Shannon was going to read it or I read it. Do we have a motion then to accept the designated authority for the HUD grant to Shannon?
I will make a motion to accept the designated authority for the HUD grant to Shannon.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item F is a 2025 to 2027 Michigan City Park Department MOU Harbor Country Millennium Plaza. And perhaps on your copy, there was a mistake, but I have the corrected copy where Shannon is listed at the back there for notification. Any questions or comments? It's, I think, pretty much like we've had in the past.
Just the one thing I know on looks, I believe it's page 2. I'm making sure I'm understanding it correctly, Shannon. It says that this is a 3-year agreement, but it's an annual renewal.
Correct. So
Okay.
the park board only has authority to sign contracts for up to 3 years and then, or there's certain dollar amount thresholds where it has to go to the city council. You can sign a 3-year agreement, but we always put in an annual renewal to give us an out. If at the end of our first or second year, either party is not satisfied, they have the option to terminate at that time. And I would like to note that Mr. Thierry is here in the audience tonight, and he is offering us $3,000 per year. Last year's agreement was $1,000 per year. So there's an increase in the lease fee. And he also provided a financial report, same for the ticket sales for his Live at the Lakefront in 2024.
I'd like to thank you for all the things that you do down at Millennium Park. You really has picked up attendance and appreciate your effort on everything.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Anybody have comments or questions? I know some of you have visited and enjoyed some of the
It's a
programs down there.
great programs that I've been to, a great venue. Thank you.
Public have any comments? Do we have a motion then to accept the 2025 to 2027 Michigan State Park Department MOU Harbor Country Millennium Plaza?
I will make a motion to accept the 2025 to 2027 Michigan City Park Department MOU Harbor Country Millennium Plaza.
I'll
Contract.
second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Sorry. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have the LA TLF, which is Live at the Lakefront 2024 financial report. Shannon, you will have comments on this.
That was just for informational purposes.
It was supposed to be attached to
Yeah.
the last line.
No votes necessary on that.
Okay.
Just turn that in, show you what the concert series was doing in the park.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We have some renewals here, renew pest control agreement with Hatfield. And we've been satisfied with their services over the years, and this is just a renewal of a contract for them. You can see they have to contact Pat Bolts and John Marshall and Tara Miller and Jamie Huss. Questions on?
Just for the board's knowledge, the next 3 agreements are also 3-year agreements. So these are renewing year, what are they on? 2 of 3. So just the annual renewal. We did reach out to all our directors. None of them have issues. The director of golf is a mistake. That should be Michael Moore. That's been corrected on your signature copy.
That should be green superintendent, not director.
Oh, yeah. So that's been corrected. Mr. Freeze's copy. So all 3 of these are just year 2 of 3 renewing their agreements. Once they get beyond the 3rd year next year, then we'll be required to go out to bid for the service agreements again.
And they keep their same price for all 3 years?
Correct. When they
Yeah.
bid, they have to bid.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily keep the same price, but when they bid, they're bidding year 1, 2, and 3. So 2 might be, 4% increase,
Okay.
but they have to stick with the price that they bid.
From the original contract,
Correct.
whatever they say, if it does go up 4% or, and is it, do you know, is it going up? Do you know offhand or?
No, until we rebid. Oh, are these going up?
I mean, that's okay. Whatever we agreed
I
upon.
don't think any of them did. I think when they bid the 3 years, they bid the flat fee for
Yeah.
3.
If I
Yeah.
recall correctly.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah,
mean,
I
can
know,
back-
I know.
get Back to you. But-
Shannon seems to remember everything
No,
that's.
I don't. Spreadsheet everything in a spreadsheet. Bad answer.
She does.
I know.
Any other
Curious.
questions, comments from the public? Hearing none, do we have a motion to accept the renewal pest contract with Hatfield? pest control.
I move we accept the Hatfield Pest Control contract.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carried.
And to prove Shannon was right, we have another renewal for the porta pot service agreement with Service Sanitation. And it too is, other than the name and the services are the same. You have questions on the Service Sanitation? Any comments from the public? We have a motion then to accept the renewal for porta pot service agreement with Service Sanitation.
Move we accept the porta pot service agreement.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And we have another renewal for a trash collection service agreement with Republic Services. And again, this is for the year 2025. No, any comments, questions, public comments? We have a motion then to renew the trash collection service agreement with Republic Services.
I move we accept the trash removal agreement with Republic.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have one quick comment about that. I know we already approved it, that's fine, but I know that where you're close to the contract being up for the 3 years, I think that if you're gonna get out of it, you have to put that in writing, like in advance quite a bit, like 90 days or even more. So it's just something, if we're looking at bidding that out again to someone else, we should probably look at that contract. I know it's always very fine print on the back page on a very faded print type, ink. So
So we use our standard contracts, not the vendors.
Okay.
The termination clause, it will terminate on this date unless renewed by December 31st.
Okay.
So at the end of the 3 years, it automatically terminates.
okay,
That's why we try not to use vendor contracts. There are a few that will
Excellent.
force us to.
yeah.
For instance, one will come up later in my report,
Mhm.
but we try to use our template
Yeah,
that's
good.
pre-approved. by
That's
Lori and
great.
The board,
Okay.
and it just makes things
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah, and they agree to it. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank
They
you.
want our business.
We have the resolution number. We voted on that. Yeah. Resolution number 1056. Whereas the superintendent of Department of Park and Recreation has reported that certain transfers of funds are necessary within the budget of the Michigan City Department of Park and Recreation because of unanticipated expenses from various accounts, which accounts do not have sufficient funds available for disbursement for said expenses. And whereas there are funds available for said purposes in various other accounts, which are not expected to be paid from said accounts during the remainder of the budget. And whereas the Michigan State Park and Recreation Board has determined that said expenses to get the accounts out of the negative and prepare for year-end purchases are necessary, and that an account transfer should be made in the order to meet expenses. Therefore, be it resolved that the following transfers be made from the following named accounts to the following named accounts for the purpose stated therein. Decrease fund 2204.505, maintenance fund vacation buyback of $10,000, and increase fund 2204.505, maintenance fund tires and tubes 2,600, gasoline 400, contractual 7,000, which then totals $10,000. We have questions or comments on this resolution? If not, is there a motion to accept resolution number 1056?
I move we accept the fund transfer 1056.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
And we have a proposal to join the golf coupon bank. You have a letter from Marty explaining this, and then you have examples on the back. when I was able to play golf, I always took advantage of, they had at that time the golf book, and it's a great deal, and this is also awesome, I think. It would help gather play at Michigan City. But if you looked at this, it's really a good deal for any of these courses that are listed on here. And I think I've played all of them at one time. So it's a good experience to get out and experience what other courses are like. And that, in that token, people come to Michigan City and experience our great golf courses. So are there questions that Marty's here, he could answer that if you have.
How long would we be in touch with this? 1 year at a time or?
Marty Neiman, Golf Course Manager. What was your question?
How long do you have to get on the coupon book?
Basically, it'd be a year by year thing. On each coupon book, there's 16 courses. So once you get on, you got first right of refusal for the following year if you don't like how it's going. Otherwise, every year you can just say, yep, I'd like back on. And they would check with us every year to see if we want back, if it's working. So.
And it's generally 2 for 1 on a Monday through Thursday.
Well, it's actually 2 for 1 or 2 for 4. And I'd hope they would do a 2 for 4 to totally fill a tee time. But it's Monday through Thursday for after 12 o'clock on Saturday, Sunday, or holidays. So they're never in our prime time. So the hopes is to fill tee times that don't normally get booked, weekend afternoons, things like that, or holidays. So the hopes is to get in people playing on times that normally would not book. A lot of places they sell them, like South Bend area or whatever, and we're trying to bring over new people that would not normally get. So it's just additional income that would, in places where a tee time would not be filled.
We've used the coupon books, a group of friends, and it's a good deal.
Yes, some people just golf all year based off of coupon books, and with adding ours, they come play our course where they maybe have never played before. So just hoping to increase income that way, filling blank tee times.
Good idea.
Your blank tee time, so and I know what you stated in here, like Monday through Thursday afternoons, right?
Monday through Thursdays, anytime.
Oh,
We
anytime.
always have some team. I mean, we have like our Tuesday special day that's usually fairly busy,
Mhm.
but they would have to call and make tee times to get in, and we're never totally booked during the week.
Yeah.
So,
What kind of, you know how like hotels have occupancy percentages, like if they're 100% occupancy, that means they're booked, every night for 7 nights.
right.
Could you throw a percentage at that with the golf course? And I'm not gonna hold you to it. I'm just asking.
Like
off
how
the top.
often we're booked with our tee times.
Yeah, like is there room for like 30% vacancy or?
Weekends during the summer, June, July, August, generally we are completely booked from like 6 a.m. till noon.
Mhm.
And then closer to the middle of the summer, 4th of July, that kind of stuff, we're even booked later into those days, 2, 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
So on a weekend during the busy season, we're probably 80 or 90% booked. Then during the week, maybe 50, 60, 70, it just depends on the time of year.
Mhm. Mhm.
But we're never to the point where we can't get somebody in at some point
Mhm.
on any day.
So you don't think, I know you said afternoons on the weekends, right? Was
Yeah, after
kind of-
12.
Yeah. Oh, after 12.
Yeah, after
And
12
that's-
on the weekends and holidays, because that's when tee times kind of open up.
So they do open up.
Oh,
I thought you just
absolutely.
said 90%. They were booked 90%. No,
Well,
sorry,
I'm
maybe I heard it.
talking about, at the end of the day, on a weekend during the busy season, we might be booked till 2 or 3 o'clock.
Mhm.
But I mean, you can still get out. I mean, it's not always 100% to where, the hopes is maybe even if you got a couple coupons a day,
Mhm.
you're only talking about filling 2 tee times. which
Yeah,
is-
right.
So like I say, there's always room to bring in new people.
Yeah.
And if they bring 4 people, then they at least fill the tee time. And we bring in $100 instead of nothing on that tee time.
Yeah.
And then hope get a future golfer.
Yeah. Well, yeah, sounds good.
Any other questions for Marty? Any comments from the public?
Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Thanks, Marty.
Do we have a second then for this proposal to join the golf coupon book?
I would move that we join the golf coupon book.
I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Good luck. The report of officers, superintendent's report, Shannon.
You, I'd like to give you an update on the water tower park project. The poured in place rubberized safety surfacing, was put down yesterday. All the equipment's in. I went out and inspected the surfacing this morning with the site superintendent. It looks beautiful. It's very colorful. The weather kind of was nasty, so it wasn't a really long meeting, but everything looks great. The surface is going to take about 5 days to set up and cure, which is a little bit longer than normal because of the rain we had this morning. But once that's set up and cured, everything will be pressure washed. We'll do a final punch list and we'll be able to close this project out. We will plan a ribbon cutting ceremony in the spring. But for now, the basketball courts opened yesterday. So we're hoping the kids are getting out there and actually using the park. The siren on our camera chased about, a dozen of them off that were in the area they weren't supposed to be. Yeah, the video is hilarious. The siren goes off, and I mean, they are scattering, and they weren't doing anything wrong. They were just like in the area that's taped off still. So we're hoping they stay off the surfacing and let that set up, and then the park will be open to the public. So, and I also should mention too, this project was $1,077,000. We received $1,025,000 in grant money, so the city only invested $52,000
Wow.
to get this project completed.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Way to go, Shannon.
Regarding Millennium Plaza's fountain, Pat and Will met with Chicago Fountain Company on November 15th. They toured the facility, took photos. We sent them all the drawings that we have of the fountain. They're going to do a free assessment and let us know, give us a second opinion more or less of what they think costs would be for rehabbing the fountain, bringing it back to life. So I think that's good news that we're really looking into that, and I should let you talk. I missed that meeting because they came in 2 hours early and I was in another meeting. But their thoughts were the costs were going to be much lower than what we got from the Haas and Associates assessment, especially if we use local labor, not pull people in from Chicago to do it. So we appreciate them coming out, not charging us for the assessment. So we'll get that to you as soon as we get it. Will did publish an online survey about 3 weeks ago asking people's opinions of the fountain, whether they wanted to see it repurposed, brought back to life, or demolished. He's got 977 responses
Wow.
as of today.
Holy cow.
I've also received probably 8 or 10 emails. So we will be putting all those responses into a summary report the first week of December, and we'll get that to the board so you can see what everybody's thinking. Do you know off the top of your head, like for it, not for it?
The survey will say that people are for it, but also the first question of the survey, there was 977 people that replied. In the last question of the survey, there were 652 people that replied. And I think that people who didn't care didn't keep going.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but we got the data. It's there. You'll be able to see it.
Cool.
Mhm.
Regarding Singing Sands Trail Phase 3, that's the final phase of Singing Sands in the Marquette Greenway through Michigan City. I did attend a NERC's Transportation Oversight Committee meeting yesterday, and we were $80,000 short to acquire the parcels that we need to get the trail through. So NERC was able to find some money for us yesterday and get that over into NDOT's hands. So we will be reimbursed as a city 80% of all the parcels that we obtain. So that's moving along. And then lastly, we have been negotiating the Pepsi contract since July of this year. So we met with them in July and September. Laura and I went through their contract, made our edits, sent back to them last Friday. So it's going to their legal department now. But there's a lot of things that we asked for this time around. I think most importantly, like for the zoo, they want everything biodegradable because that's their mission, and Pepsi was requiring us to buy their cups. So we're like, okay, you can leave that in there, but we need biodegradable cups, so they agreed to take it out. What were some of the other bigger things? I think that was really it. They were trying to push us to try a few of their new products, but they're not forcing us to in the contract, so it's changed language to more of a suggestion. Yes, we will try them, but you know, I always say the zoo's a different animal, no pun intended.
Mhm.
But there's just certain things that, you know, the zoo's really good at knowing their audience, what will sell and what won't.
Mhm.
So overall, I think it's a good contract. If they do accept our edits, we would hope to have that signed by the end of the year so we can start it in 2025. It is a 3-year or volume contract. So our last 3-year contract, I think we went about 4 months past the 3-year date. And just so the board knows, the compensation that came back to us under the last 3-year contract, which is rebates, they give us $6,000 a year for marketing. So in the 3 years, that's the report. In the 3 years, they provided us with equipment and free equipment maintenance that if we purchased today, it was over $25,000 between the zoo and the golf course. And then the rebates and marketing over the last 3 years was $20,500. So we did the math in 2023 as far as like if we had to go out and purchase the product, it is much cheaper. But it doesn't amount to what they give us. And then we would have to pick it up. We don't have free delivery. If the machines break, we have to pay for them. So it's really advantageous for us to stay with Pepsi. So we'll be bringing that to you hopefully at your last meeting in December. There is no vandalism, and that's the end of my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Shannon? Thank you. Good report. Will, Assistant Superintendent?
Yeah, so first, I would sadly like to announce that we will currently not be having a Winter Adult Basketball League. Only got 3 teams to sign up, but one of the big things was that it was a lot of individual people that wanted to sign up and not a lot of teams that wanted to sign up. So I'm thinking about redoing the structure of the Winter League and making it an individual sign-up league where we have a draft day for all the players. They get put on separate teams and then they can come together and play that way. And then doing another adult league in the summertime where you can bring maybe everybody's friends or anything are back around and they can pick a team and all come together and play. I've ran a league like that in the past in the summertime and it did very well. So hopefully we can get the ball rolling with this Winter League and the draft option. I think it'll be a little bit better. Also at the same time, we're working on a youth basketball league that we're trying to get going pretty fast, working with the YMCA, the high school basketball team, and ourselves at Park and Rec, kind of split it up 3 different ways. Still working on the particulars, but I hope to have that in front of you before the next meet or at the next meeting. Tomorrow, Park and Rec, the Franciscan and the Michigan City High School boys basketball team are doing a food giveaway at Pullman Field at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church on the west side of town, starting at 2:30 to 5 o'clock. From the Park and Rec standpoint, we just offered the Pullman Field as a spot for people to come pick up food. But Franciscan is putting on the event and my boys basketball team is going to hand out the food. The last trail hike that we had this past Sunday at Windy Creek Cove, we had 17 people show up. It was a pretty nice walk. That's the biggest attendance that we had so far. It was a beautiful day for a walk. The next one will be on December 1st at Canada Park, and we'll go up to Bismarck Hill and tour the trails up there that Pat just got cleaned up for us this week. Really excited about that. I've really enjoyed the walk so far. A lot of people, the people that come out make conversations really good for just a 2 mile walk. You know, there's been a lot of good connections. And then the last walk, people came just to ask questions about Park and Rec. So it was a good informational time.
Don't forget the deer that frightened you.
The deer did scare the mess out of me.
Out of everybody or just you, sir?
It was just everybody else was gone. Everybody else was gone. So we walked on the Singing Sands Trail. I promised people a paved walk so they could bring strollers and whatnot they wanted. But afterward, I wanted to go see what the rest of the trails were out there at Winding Creek Cove. So I went walking and I kept hearing noise off to the right. And when I finally looked, there was a deer that was right there.
Wow.
It was actually 3 deer that was right there, and I felt like they was trying to jump me, so I had to get out of there real fast. This week we've come a step closer to nailing down our next online management software, which will be AutoApp, I think. We are working with them right now on the contract, but me, Melissa, myself, and Allie had a demo with them 2 days ago. Like on the baseline of how to set up the online software and the facility rentals and all that stuff. He just kind of gave us an overview, and I think we're all in agreement that this is definitely the right step to take as far as ease of use from user side and from the back end side for us, and kind of combining a lot of Park and Rec under one umbrella, even to the point where the zoo might have interest in using the exact same program for their concessions and merchandising and memberships as well. So it'd be a nice, very inexpensive way for us to bring everything under one roof, and more to come next meeting on that. Lastly, yesterday I was approached by Kevin McGuire and Michigan State Area Schools about doing a baseball camp to lead up to the Youth Baseball League out at Patriot Park. And the Rotary Club. The Rotary Club would like to pay to bus elementary students out to Patriot Park after school for a 4 to 6 week period right after spring break. So that's our sign up. That's the end of our sign up period. But it was definitely, I think, make that excitement leading up to baseball a whole lot more fun than what it was before, and get more kids involved in it. So it'd be an awesome free program that we're looking to partner with the school system with.
Very cool.
And that's all I have for today.
One of those deer didn't have a red nose, did they?
No, me and Rudolph, we go back a long ways. I would have recognized him, and we would play some jolly old games, you know.
I think that's your baseball thing sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Now we move on to Planning Commission Liaison Report, Mr. Hoffman.
Yes, sir. The Planning Commission met on October 22nd, and they approved the petitions 90324-2 and 90324-1. I did those backwards by Pyramid Properties for a major subdivision that'll be there in the area, and they were moved for the approval that was sent to the council. The next meeting is scheduled for November 26th. I believe that's next week.
Yep.
Okay. Jeez.
Thank you.
The end.
Port Authority, we did have a meeting Monday. However, there was nothing that would affect the park department. Mr. Glidden, tell us about the zoo.
The Zoological Society has not met recently.
Thank you. Attorney's report.
I got nothing.
Director's report. Jamie, yeah, you have a report?
Hi, I just want to take a few minutes to kind of wrap up our end of the season with a few updates. We did have a kind of a slow season. We think it's more due to economy more than anything else. We talked to other zoos and had the same issues. The feedback we got from visitors who did come to the zoo was mostly positive. I like the changes, clean, animals look good. Our big news was that we did get, as you might remember, back last fall, we had that big pamphlet of paperwork of our application for the ZAA, which is the Zoological Association of America. We did get that paperwork submitted. We did have an inspection in September, which was a very detailed 2-day inspection. It's a voluntary membership that we partake in that program, in that association. All zoos are accredited by USDA, which are pop-up inspections, but they basically just check out, the animal husbandry, safety. The DA goes 10 steps more. They check out not only your operations, your safety, for the guests and animals, our diets, education programming, conservation, staff training. So it's a very nice club to be part of. There's only 71 facilities accredited by the Zoo Association. For us, the benefit is not only to be part of that group, but it gives us opportunities for education, for our staff, for professional development, animal transactions, trades, keeps us updated on the zoo field profession. It helps to talk to other peers and to know what changes, trends, news that might be coming up. So we're very happy to be a part of that 5-year accreditation period. It's our third accreditation. I can tell you from the last 2 times, this time was a lot more detailed. And I just like to take the chance to thank the staff for working so hard to make sure that we were ready for it. And thank our board and our community for sponsoring us and let us do the job we do. I mean, it's nice to have a zoo that we have. Sorry, I got a cold. We've come a long way in the last few years, and we hope to continue more. We did have booth at the zoo. It was very well attended. The weather was beautiful. We did try a new format this year by not having 2 sessions, 1 long session, and it seemed to help the line and the bottlenecking that we usually had with the event. Attendance is down a little bit, but there's so many free trunk or treats that go on nowadays, so you compete with that. But the attendance that we did have, the vendors were happy, the guests are happy, so we're happy with that because we were able to do more animal encounters. We call it pumpkin chomp and smash. The animals got pumpkins, and some of them ate them, some of them played with them. But the kids and the visitors seemed to enjoy the piñata activities and the crafts and the vendors because they could take their time and not be crowded. So, and there's also a safety feature that we're happy to have a more of a longer session, that we're not crowding people in case there was an emergency. We had to get activities or people moved, we can get around and do so. We are looking at our December 7th as our last day open for the season. We've done the weekend openings throughout November, and they've been pretty well attended. We keep advertising on Facebook, hoping that next year they're more well attended. A lot of our visitors are happy that we're able to see the zoo in all seasons. So I'd like to invite people to come out to our December 7th Winter Wonderland, which we have the Grinch and some animal talks, and a nice way just to tie up the end of the season. I have to answer any questions you might have.
Any question? I'd like to thank you for all you do at the zoo, and heard some very nice comments over the years. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
I'm sure Shannon will find money for the food.
I would just like to congratulate Jamie and her staff. Accreditation is a very tedious and stressful process. And what it means is like Washington Park Zoo is held to the highest standards in the nation. That is not an easy task with the staff that they have, being located on a sand dune. I mean, there's a lot of challenges that our little zoo has. And also thanks to the maintenance department, they stepped in and did some tree trimming work at the last minute because you have to have open perimeters. So it was a lot, and congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you. Mr. Glidden, Department of Finance.
I have the payroll for number 23, 10/27/24 through 11/9/24, pay date 11/15/24. Total payroll $77,376.33. And I would move that we accept this payroll.
Second. All in favor, Mr. All in favor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
I have the claims docket for November 20th, 2024 municipal, $62,527.32, and that is the total claim. $62,527.32. And I would move that we accept this claims docket.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have gifts and donations. Rick Rampala, donation Beach Library, $100. Unknown Zoo donation miscellaneous, $9. Kroger Zoo donation give back program, $61.78. And the Unity Foundation of the Port County Zoo donation miscellaneous, $600. And I would move that we accept these generous gifts and donations.
I shall second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Minor transfers, the Zoo Fund 2022-04.504, decrease account sick day buyback, $9,846. Increase account seasonal wages, $1,500. Increase account overtime, $8,346. Concession fund 2507, decrease account seasonal wages, $76. Decrease account other supplies Peacock, $3,500. Increase account overtime, $76. Increase account other supplies, $3,500. I would move that we accept these minor transfers.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
That's it for me.
Thank you, Mr. Gooden. Any comments from the public? Comments from board? I'd like to just mention a couple things. The water tower is lucky as I've already drawn up the brackets for the first one-on-one tournament. And we'll have Mr. Hoffman is going to take on, and he told me probably win against Will. And Bryant got the bye for the first game.
Mr. Hoffman said that Tom Dermody is gonna step in for him, right?
Yes, Tom Dermody's gonna step on, yeah, because Mayor Dermody challenged him. Mayor Dermody doesn't know he challenged him, but he did.
I did at a CVB meeting.
Oh yeah.
Well,
That's true. Yeah, so
the
I'm
entry
gonna-
fee for Laporte is $50. Everybody else is free.
I like that. I like that.
All right.
yeah. I'll approve
With
that.
that, our next meeting will be Wednesday, December 4th, 5:00, right here. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Bye-bye.